Welcome, good afternoon. Welcome back to another episode of Desk-Bound Aviator. Today we're looking at a bigger version of the JAR Airbus. This is the A330. A little more wingspan, a little more passengers, a little more baggage. Quite an aircraft. So I thought we'd give it another try here. Going over from LAX today to Salt Lake City. And the first thing we need to do is load it up with baggage and cargo and get the fuel supplies and everything else on board. I just want to check and make sure that we do have fuel supplies. Load the fuel thing, so let's check that. We can click on this guy and drive up. Whoops, make everybody drive up again. There they go. And now we'll get our fuel truck to drive up so we can load it with fuel. All right, let's get inside. Got the batteries turned on. I'll go ahead and turn on the APU battery. And we've got the ground power turned on from having the elements that you just saw drive up. Part of that was the ground power unit. I'll go ahead and turn on a beacon. Whoops, can't use the scroll wheel for this on this aircraft. Turn on the beacon light, nav and logo. We can turn on the compass. What is that? CTL, I'm not sure what control means. And the annuator light doesn't work on this. We can go ahead and turn on the emergency exit lights. That's the lights in the seats, down at the bottom of the seats in the aisle. And we've got the temperature set okay, and I'm going to turn on the gears so we can get those aligned properly. Oops. Right in the middle we want it. All right, we'll take a look down below. Get a couple of lights adjusted here. Whoops, I keep doing that. Let me scroll back here and look down again. That way, you just got to pull the mouse to rotate it to the right. There we go. It's all from that point of view. What I will do, just while I'm at it, is flip these three switches here, get the transponder set up properly for taxi. Turn on the radios and set that to nav mode. And we can start to take a look at the FMC, or as they call it in the Airbus, the MCDU. Well, the first thing I'll call to your attention in this is the settings panel, which is this MCDU menu button. And in that, you can modify some of the settings. You can open doors. And I'll go ahead and open the left passenger door so that we can let passengers board the aircraft. And we can go back here to the init page. We're going to go from LAX, KLAX, over to KSLC Salt Lake City. Ask us if we want an empty or a generator flight plan. I'll say empty. We'll align the IRS. Flight number is Delta EAL. Let me just jump over here to my browser, and it's going to be Delta 2658. Flight number, cost index 30, cruise altitude 350. Jump over to the fuel page, and I'm going to go ahead and plug in 28,000 pounds. I'm sorry, 18,000. Let's go back down. Let's try that. Load that up, and then we'll try the 0 fuel weight and then the block. And it gives us an hour and 37 overtime on fuel, so that's good. And we can go right from there to the flight plan. KLAX, we're going to depart on 24 left, which is right near us. And our SID pattern is Orca 3 going to LAS. That we need to scroll down to here, Orca 3, LAS. Enter that and insert it. From there, from LAS, we're going to take an airway Q70 to Blip. We have to scroll down to LAS, click that, come over here to Airways, and enter Q70 in the VIA area, and then BLIPP. Goes into the 2 area. From Blip, we're going to do Q842 to Winen. W-I-N-E-N. That takes care of that section of the flight plan. We'll insert that. And now we can go to KSLC. We're going to be landing to the south on runway 16 left. So we'll pick arrival, 16 left. We'll go ahead and use the ILS for that. And the star is Delta 5 for the transition of MLF. There's Delta 5 and MLF. Yeah, ECE, okay, we'll take MLF. We'll enter that flight plan and insert it. Now, I know from previous experience that when we get to the end of our MLF and get to the end of that whole SID at the next waypoint, which is Roy, R-O-Y-Y, there's a bit of a sharp angle down to the first waypoint of the approach into 16 left. So I'm going to add a couple of waypoints in here. I'll show you on the chart. Lagoon is way down here. We're going to be way up here, and it just goes boom, right back down. So I'm going to go ahead and enter in there Toomey, Iron, and Ogden. So T-O-O-M-E is first. And we'll just put that in here where the discon was. And then we'll get rid of all the discounts later. So Toomey goes first, then Iron, I-R-R-O-N. And that goes above Toomey. And above Iron is going to be OGD. Right there. Insert that. Now we can get rid of all the discons. Whoops, not allowed. Try that again. Why isn't that allowed? That's strange. Let's go down here and get rid of this one. Clear. That. Oh, I was tapping the wrong side. That's why. Insert. Okay. Clear again. That one. Insert. Clear again. Now scroll up to here. Insert. And I think there might be one more. Yeah, there it is. Insert that. And that should do it. Yeah. All right. Now we can go to our performance. Just tap V1, VR, and V2. 144 is going to be our nominal takeoff speed. Just tap these, tap that. This is flaps 1. And our flex speed is going to be 60. flex temp, I should say, 6.0. Take off, and that will pretty much do it. Now we'll just check the nav radio and enter 109.5 at a course of 164, 109.50. Into ILS frequency. There you go. And 164 is automatically entered into the course. So that's set. And that's about all we need to do there. Go ahead and flip this over in Q&H mode, and I think our baro here, check on that down below, which is a handy gadget. It says for KLAX, the baro is going to be 2997. All right, so let's scroll that up to 2997. And I'll tap on the, yeah, you have to right tap it. Yeah, I always get my screen messed up doing that. All right, so now if I scroll this, I can go to 144. And once again, the altitude is going to be 35. There we go, 35. And that's done. So now we can tell people to sit down, fasten their seat belts. And we'll go ahead and open up our fuel pumps and get our APU cranked up. While that's going on, I'm going to come down here. Oops, first thing I'm going to do is going to come down here and go to MCDU, and I'm going to go ahead and close the left side door. The others should be taken care of by the ground handling units. We can verify that by going outside, calling up ground handling, and just say, well, drive away, but we can't drive away yet. I don't want to get rid of that GPU just yet until we've got the APU fired up and running. So before we just do that, let's go check down here, and it says APU is available. So that's good. All right, so we can come up here, we can go ahead and turn on the APU bleed. And now that the APU is operating, we can turn off the ground power. And now we can go outside and bring back our ground handling equipment and just tell everybody to drive away. What it does is it makes all the fuel trucks and the loaders and so forth drive away. It doesn't make the GPU drive away though, and I'll show you what we need to do in order to do that. I should have thought of that before, I guess, when I was explaining this. So let's get rid of that. And let's see, we've got APU fired up, we've got our panel set up. Let's go ahead and call up our pusher.
Ground to cockpit, please show me where you want to go.
I want to go right where it's showing me.
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
All right, thank you. So now that the tow is driving up, if we take another look here, we're still losing some of our ground handling stuff. They've shut the doors and they're backing away. Got to get rid of that baggage handler back there. That's interesting. Now, why is that door opening up? And that one too. Strange. All right, so let's make them all go away. Call up ground handling and just say hide all. And we still got those doors open. So we've got to get that fixed.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed.
I don't think so. So let's go down here, and we'll close that. In the center, yes. Close all those. Let's see if that worked. Goodness gracious. All right. That's what we need to do. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, for some odd reason. Okay, I think we're set now. there it goes. He's lifting us up. What a big, beautiful aircraft.
Connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
All right, we'll release the parking brake, and when we do that, we should see that auto gate back up.
Park brake off.
There we go.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Okay. So we'll flip our engine start switch over and start with
Starting
number
engine
1. And we're looking here at the N1, see that that gets up around 20-25%. And then we can start engine 2. There's no fuel feed valve on this as there is on a Boeing. It's all done automatically. Once it gets cranked up, it goes pretty quickly. So there we go. And then flip on
Starting
engine
engine
1. That's all set. Speed set. That's set. And we'll go through our checklist here. Signs are on.
So
Cabin
engine
check.
connected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the right. We'll see you next time and have a great flight.
Right.
Spoilers armed.
Arm the spoilers.
Flaps 1.
Flaps 1. Brakes to max. Takeoff config normal. Looking pretty good. Now, we don't have that far to taxi, so I'll take you along for the ride. And you can skip ahead if you like. But, all we need to do is just go right over here.
Park brake off.
All right. Situated here.
Approaching 2-4 left.
All right. First thing to do is turn on some lights. P. Forgot to turn on the taxi light, didn't I? My bad. Transponder to TARA. Okay. See where he is. Check with radar first. Looks like he might have already landed. There's somebody else coming in, but he's not on our runway. Maybe that's somebody taking off. I don't see anybody now. All right, let's check that one more time. United, he's flying over this way. He's not going to be on approach. Okay, I think we're all right. So let's go ahead and venture out. Flaps down. Brakes set. Wings in the right direction. Nobody landing on our heads. So let's go.
On runway 2-4 left.
Power set. Positive climb. Gear up.
Lights off. Speed off. Manual.
Autopilot 1, cross-check.
Our throttle back down. Thrust climb. All right, speed's coming up. Gets past that little green S mark there, I'll go ahead and bring the flaps up.
Flaps
There.
0. Spoilers disarm.
Heading right back over LAX. Big airplane. Don't have to turn off the auto brakes, it's automatic on this Airbus aircraft. A lot of things are. One thing you've got to be very careful of in this aircraft, at least in the sim version of it, is the autopilot is set on a very hair trigger. If you breathe on the yoke or you do anything wrong or you let the speed go a couple of knots over or under the set FMC speed, you will lose autopilot. You'll have to do all sorts of conniptions sometimes to recover it. So far so good. As we climb through 79, 8,000 feet on our way to 10. We'll flip the landing lights off. You can tap these ND screens, which is very handy, at least this one. I'm not sure. No, this one you can't. I find it very handy sometimes to go ahead and tap that one so I can just maintain a broad view of the aircraft like this, and yet I can still see the ND and see what's going on. Not sure it does with this one either now. Just the MFD screen will pop up here in the upper corner of the window. But it's handy. All right, we should be getting close. Yes, there we are. So let's go ahead and turn off that go away. We turn off our lights. There we go. And now that we've passed 10,000, our speed is climbing up to cruising speed of 280 knots, or that vicinity. And we'll continue our climb on up to cruising altitude on our way to Salt Lake City. Coming up over some of the mountains surrounding the LA basin. Cloudy day down there today. The system went through earlier this afternoon. Some of the residual clouds are still hanging around the region. I don't think we'll find that in Salt Lake City. So I'll bring you back soon as we make our approach. Some interesting landscaping going on here. Looks like some strip mining. In the hills outside of Salt Lake City. What that is, I'll look it up. Alright, we've passed our 10,000 mark, or at least the waypoint leading to it, so I'm going to go ahead and turn on our landing lights. And our speed is descending to the requisite 250. Now you will see that as we approach 16 left, we will not this time use the LS button here to activate the ILS system, because we're not using ILS on this approach. We're just going straight in RNAV, and we're using the FMC to generate a glide path. It won't say glide path on the ND the way the Boeing does, but it seems to operate in the same manner. As we get in range of the airport and of the system, I will go ahead and turn on the APPRR. There's an APPR button, the approach button, and that will activate the system, and when we are within range of the runway, you will see an indication of that as we start to descend. I hope. It doesn't happen, and we'll have to do something else. Interesting that we've passed by Ogden and it's still indicating that, so what I'm going to do is go down here and activate iron. And see what that does for us. There we go. Looks like the airplane didn't quite grab onto that Ogden waypoint. And we're looking at 6600 for iron. I'm not sure we're going to make that. We'll make the waypoint. I'm not sure we'll make the altitude. I'm going to go ahead now and tap on the APPR button and see if that helps us to descend. Let's see. At Yawa, we're supposed to be at 6.1, at Lagoon 3.8, and we're just beginning to make a descent now. Let's see what happens here. Should get a approach mode indication pretty quickly here. There. Concerned that this altitude isn't dropping quick enough. Afraid not, folks. All right. Let's just do it the old-fashioned way.
Approach phase activated.
Now he tells me.
Radio altimeter alive.
2,500.
Well, we'll see if we can get this thing on the ground in one piece.
Flaps 1. Flaps 2. Gear down. Flaps
1,000.
Be fast, folks.
Approaching 1-6 left.
500. 400. 100.
Too low. Flaps.
Flaps full.
200. 100. 100 above. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10. 5.
Spoilers full. Reverse green. $70 knots.
A little wobbly, but we made it. Is that applause I hear? Well, so it looks like the RNAV thing didn't work this time. It worked in the 320, but it didn't work in this. Kind of interesting. Okay, so I'm going to clean this up and bring it in. I appreciate your joining me for that flight. It was fun, very scenic. I wish the RNAV system had worked the way I expected it to. If you recall, I think I did a version in the 320 and it seemed to work quite nicely. But not in this. When I activated approach, it just continued flying at 7,000 feet and refused to see any indication that it should descend. And didn't want to overfly the airport, so let it go. So anyway, thanks for joining me today. This is Steve, your desk-bound aviator. Appreciate you joining me, and if you have any thoughts or comments on this flight or would like to see any others in any other aircraft, let me know in the comments below. Always fun to do. Thanks a lot. See you soon.